I just love that. It sounds so inspirational, which is what we want to be for you each and every morning. Good morning. Happy Friday, and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. Feels like I've been up like for 4 or 5 hours. I am, for some reason, just like bouncing off the walls. Very energetic for you today. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to educate you. We're going to get you up to date on the weather. Yeah, you feel like you're just like wringing yourselves out this morning. It was crazy rain yesterday. And at least for some of you, we're going to talk about flooding concerns. We'll talk about what we saw just a couple of days ago, 2 confirmed tornadoes for our particular area, and what's coming up for the weekend. We'll have all of that with our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore, in just a second. For Friendship Friday, we'll get into Easter, which is just right around the corner. I can't believe that. We also are going to do a little Mythbusters, and we're going to get you involved. We're going to put you are our guest. You are going to be on the hot seat this morning. So get ready to get those fingers typing away as you interact with me and our real estate extraordinaire, Dot Fleshman with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. Something that I mentioned that we started a while back is this right here, where we're going to update you on things going on nationally throughout the world. Always want to make sure that you are well aware of what's going on in the world. Some of this could be what I think falls into a little bit more of negativity sometimes. So I'm not going to say it, but you might want to know about it. This right now, showing you what's going on in sports news, and we'll flip it back and forth between financial and world news, etc. But before we do all that, we know it always to get you up to date on weather. It's a segment that we call What the Weather.
Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri, and it is a beautiful one.
I like when we say it's a beautiful one. That's what we want. Our aspiring meteorologist has been with us for over a year now. And if you're new to the show, let me introduce you to him. This is Beckett Moore. Good morning, Beckett.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. It looks like we're sitting in water.
It does. In some places could be.
Well, that's what's crazy, because this rain, unfortunately, not ending anytime soon. And we've been talking about flooding concerns. So you didn't have any damage from the tornadoes we had the other day, right?
No, that was well to my south.
Yes. So for those that are in Cape Girardeau, Potosi, I know they're all still picking up. And unfortunately, there were lives that were lost here and other areas throughout the country. And we still continue to pray for them as you are all picking up those pieces. But now, Beckett, we're talking about flooding concerns, aren't we?
Yes, we are. As we head into tomorrow, or into this evening and into tomorrow, we're going to continue to see this rain. And into this evening, an overnight period is going to be the greatest threat for flash flooding. So we're going to need to be prepared for that if you live in a flood-prone area. And we're going to probably see river flooding as well, moderate to major river flooding here in Missouri, into the south, into parts of the Ozarks, and down towards Cape Girardeau.
Yeah, I was listening the other day, and I know somebody was talking about the Merrimack River down in Jefferson County, as well as the St. Francis and the Kaskaskia rivers, the 3 that they were mentioning. Any others that we really have to be concerned about?
I don't think so. Those are the main ones, though.
Okay, are we talking about serious flooding concerns?
Yeah, so flash flooding, of course, is kind of unpredictable. We can see those storms training over the area this evening and overnight, so that's going to be a concern for some areas. And again, like I said, moderate to major flooding is going to be possible along those rivers. So if you live along riverbanks, if you live in a flood-prone area, I would get to higher ground if you do fall under a flash flood warning.
And never, 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 Beckett and I will always tell you this: do not drive through. Turn
No.
around, don't drown. It is so
Yeah.
dangerous. But Beckett, we see it all the time. And unfortunately, for years and years and years, we have reported on it. We've been there. We've had to go to the scene and try to rescue people. So we're trying to keep you and all of our first responders, by the way, safe. Okay, well, Beckett, let us know for our immediate area. Again, if you're outside of Missouri and Illinois, just hang with us for a second. We like to take care of those that have been watching for many, many years. So we'll do that, and then we'll get into some news for you. Okay, Beckett, take it away.
Yeah, so looking at the current conditions right now, we got a temperature of around 49 degrees, cloudy skies. We will get that rain to move in as we head into this afternoon. So looking at the hour-by-hour forecast, as we head into this mid-morning, a couple showers are possible to move into the area mid-morning, but it really won't get started as we head into the afternoon past lunchtime, getting up to 53 there at 12 p.m. So looking at tonight's forecast, staying in the mid-50s tonight, we're going to have those thunderstorms all night. Some lightning is going to be possible, small hail as well. Overall, these are likely just going to be strong storms, not severe, but some may be severe as you head to the south of the city. So some hail damaging winds will be possible, but the main threat will be flash flooding, as we're going to see these training of storms here in St. Louis and especially to the south of the city for multiple hours this evening and overnight. So we could see that again. If you live in a flood prone area that deals with flash flooding, make sure you get to higher ground if you fall under a flash flood warning tonight. Have multiple ways to receive those warnings. As we head into tomorrow, 8 a.m., there's some showers there. We continue to see rain 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. So overall, not a good day for outdoor activities, and that's just going to enhance the river flooding as we continue to see rain in the St. Louis area. So looking at a radar picture right now, this is the area of moisture, area of precipitation that's going to be filling in and moving into the St. Louis area as we head into this afternoon. That's going to be causing our flooding concerns. So looking at this Weather Prediction Center's outlook for flooding today, we are in a moderate risk. That is a level 4 there or 4 out of 5, I think, there for our area. High risk as you head to the south down into parts of the Ozarks and into Arkansas, but that's definitely a pretty serious risk for St. Louis. 40% chance of flash flooding in the area. So your flash flooding tips: get the higher ground if you fall again under one of these flash flood warnings. Do not drive into water and stay informed. Monitor local radar, television, weather radio, internet, or social media for updates. And then finally, looking at the 7-day outlook today, high of around 56, 100% chance of rain again, especially as we go into this evening and overnight. That's when the greatest flash flooding threat's going to be. Low 48 tonight, really cooling down tomorrow. That's about 10 degrees below average. 51 is our high. 100% chance of rain continues into tomorrow. The rain really tapers off. A couple showers in the morning on Sunday are possible, but as we head into the afternoon, those showers will make it out of the area. And finally, we will be done with the rain. Monday, Tuesday, sunny skies, but still only in the 50s. Finally getting back into the 60s near average on Wednesday. Mostly cloudy skies, a couple showers possible, and some more rain heading into Thursday with some showers.
Well, I'm looking forward to Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, I know.
As we all are. Any big plans for the weekend?
I don't think so, no.
Nope, just trying to stay dry for sure.
Yeah, pretty
Well,
much.
thank you. And again, all of you, I want you to know that this is a 15-year-old boy that's in high school that is just so incredible. And if you're new to the show, this is what he does for you. He puts these incredible graphics together and gives you the most accurate weather. So this is where I want you to tune in. And you can also follow him. I know it's not on the current graphics, so tell them where they can follow you, Beckett.
Yeah, you can follow me, More Weather, Moore, Weather, on YouTube or Twitter, and I'll be posting a lot, especially on Twitter.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a great weekend and tell your family I said hi.
You too.
Okay, everyone. Beckett Moore again. Follow him for all the latest information. Okay, to 7:08, we also like to bring you up to date on what's going on in our world. News that we say is news you can use. So we talked yesterday about Liberation Day and the tariffs. Well, as expected, China is now imposing a 34% tariff on imports of all U.S. products, and that is going to start on April 10th. They announced that it will impose this. They announced it today on the products, part of a flurry of retaliatory measures following U.S. President Donald Trump's Liberation Day state of double-digit tariffs. The new tariff, by the way, matches the rate of the U.S. reciprocal tariff of 34% on Chinese exports that the president ordered this week. The Commerce Ministry in Beijing also said in a notice they will impose more export controls on rare earths, which are materials used in high-tech products such as computer chips and electric vehicle batteries. Additionally, the Chinese government said it has added 27 firms to list of companies subject to trade sanctions or export controls. And again, we've been keeping an eye on the latest in the stock market. It's just going to be all over the place. You just got to buckle up for the ride. Here's some of the countries, by the way, targeted by President Trump's tariffs. And so Canada and Mexico, China, India, South Korea, Japan, Vietnam. We will continue to monitor this story and bring you the latest. Other news, 51 animals. We just did Positive Talk Time yesterday. 51 animals rescued from a formally licensed breeder here in the state of Missouri. The Humane Society of Missouri's Animal Cruelty Task Force rescued these animals from a formerly licensed breeder. They included 42 dogs, 2 cats, and 7 kittens. The facility was owned by a formerly licensed breeder who operated under the name Winter Nights in Cedar County. These animals were removed after inspectors with the Missouri Department of Agriculture received reports that the animals were in dire condition and that there were dead animals on site. The rescue was coordinated in conjunction with the Missouri Department of Agriculture and the Missouri Attorney Attorney General's office. So, what can we do to report an animal who may be in danger? Please do so. Don't look at it and then don't do anything about it. If they're in danger, they're suffering from neglect or abuse, please call your local police department. And you can call this number, the Humane Society of Missouri's Animal Cruelty Hotline, which is a number I would highly recommend you keep nearby. 314 647 4400. One more time, 314 647 4400. Never let those babies suffer without saying something about it. And again, we just were on with Jessica Cook, an incredible rescue with Yuppie Puppies Forever Rescue yesterday. And we talked about just how many issues we have here in the state of Missouri. Well, this one you might want to know about. Nearly 200,000 blenders sold at Target are being recalled for a laceration hazard. Yeah, you might have these according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. The blades on what you're seeing here, it's the Vivitar blender bottles. They can continue to operate when the bottle is not attached to the blender. Again, a potential laceration hazard. The recall involves Vivitar blender bottles, which feature a clear plastic bottle and a white plastic base. The blenders were sold at Target nationwide and online at Target.com from December of last year through January of this year. They only cost about $5. The blenders should be you can contact actually the SAKAR for instructions on how to receive a refund. The blenders should not be returned to Target is what they're saying. So I'm going to take this link for the recall and I'm going to send that over to Jenny. She will drop it then in the moderation for you so you have the information that you need to know to return it. Well, they probably use a lot of blenders in the kitchens of these two chefs. I'm so excited because one of them is a dear, dear friend of mine, and she's been a semifinalist in the past. So we're hoping and crossing our fingers that this time around, Lauren Nalick, she and hopefully our other woman that's on the list here will get the finalist. Look at Lauren is just absolutely incredible. If you've never been to Balkan Treat Box, you absolutely need to go because the food is obviously phenomenal. These two St. Louis chefs are finalists for the James Beard Awards, one of the top honors in the culinary world. The James Beard Foundation Awards recognizes chefs, restaurateurs, food critics from all over the country. Again, this one, a dear friend of myself and our team, Lauren Nalick, we wish you the best. I hope we get a chance to come out and say that she wins. She is with Balkan Treat Box in Webster Groves. And Chef Jane Chatham of Vicia in St. Louis City, also a finalist. In January, several chefs and beverage professionals from St. Louis were named semifinalists. The winners will be announced at the awards ceremony in Chicago. And that, by the way, is coming up on June 16th. So we'll all be keeping an eye to that. In sports news, St. Louis Cardinals, they're in action against the Boston Red Sox today at 1:10. Same two teams tomorrow at 3:10. And on Sunday, that'll be an evening game at 6:10. In hockey news, the St. Louis Blues, were you watching? I went to bed after the second period, but they won. How about the Blues? 5-4 against the Penguins. And then it's the Blues and the Avalanche. They'll be on tap tomorrow. And then on April 7th, it's the Blues and the Jets. And again, they are hanging on, trying to get that wild card. But yes, that's 11 in a row, folks. Go Blues. It is National Hug a News Person Day. I need a bunch of hugs because I was in that field for a long, long time. National Walk Around Things Day. Okay. National Vitamin C Day. If you're looking for your supplements, make sure you grab some of those. Keep your immune strong. The Jeep 4x4 Day. National Chicken Cordon Bleu Day, and National School Librarian Day. And in entertainment news, I'm going to say yes to this one. I don't know him, but holy cow, he's good looking. Pierce Brosnan says Aaron Taylor Johnson would be great as the next James Bond. The former 007 stars in the Paramount series Mobland as the patriarch of a London crime family. Do you know him? Aaron Taylor Johnson. I had to look him up. I wasn't familiar with him, but he first gained international attention for his portrayal of a teenage John Lennon in the 2009 film Nowhere Boy. Also appeared in Savages back in 2012, Godzilla, The Fall Guy. He's of English, Russian, Jewish descent and has a sister named Gemma Johnson. So that is the latest news for you, giving you all the news that you can use, giving you up-to-date sports news and entertainment news as well. So I see a bunch of you signing on, saying good morning, happy Friday, enjoy your weekend. I popped over to Instagram and good morning. Let's see. Grain Lessman, have an awesome day. Kathy said, happy Friday to you and all have a wonderful weekend. Yeah, that is the general message, right? Good morning to everyone. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. No. So good morning to you all. We're going to take our first break. And when we come back, we are going to talk with Fleshman, Coldwell banker, Gundaker, real estate extraordinaire. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to put you on the hot seat. We're also going to bust some myths that are out there in the real estate world. So stay tuned. It's coming up next.
Carroll House is now the contemporary furniture design center.
We now have the largest selection of the latest ultra-modern furniture.
Sleek European designs, unique metals, bold lacquers, plush fabrics, and retro styles.
Modern furnishings with exclusive collections only at Carroll House.
Plus free financing, free delivery and setup, and free in-home design.
Visit the St. Louis Center for Contemporary Design inside our 3.5-acre showrooms at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
You like nice things, and there's some nice things on this website, by the way. We love our new collaboration. All of our sponsors, of course, Carroll House is one of them, and then Wine Girl. If you check this out, shopwinegirl.com, the cutest hats and sweatshirts, t-shirts. I like the latest t-shirt. It says, hot girls drink wine. They've got Wine Girl sweatshirts, and then they've got tumblers, they've got mugs. They even have dog toys, and because you are a very smart viewer of the Real Monica Adams show, you get a discount. So when you go to shopwinegirl.com, you then want to put in the code TheRealMonicaAdams and you get 15% off. So I love all of you that have shopped so far. I think Jenny told me she bought the Wine Girl. Oh, no, she bought the Veuve Clicquot sweatshirt that I love. It's the white one. So look for that. It's got this really beautiful pink here in the middle with the hoodie. So yes, Wine Girl, thank you so much. And if you ever travel to Scottsdale or Napa, check them out. They got a brick and mortar. So that would be a lot of fun. I think my friend Dot and I need to go there. Let me bring her on. Good morning, Dot Fleshman. How are you?
Good morning, Monica. Good morning.
We need to go there. You need a Wine Girl sweatshirt for sure.
I'll wear the Wine Girl t-shirt. How about that?
All right. Hot girls drink wine. That would be for you.
Hey, there we go. Let's drink some.
How
Is
have
it
you
too
been?
early? I mean, can we put some wine in our coffee?
Hey, no one knows what's in here. Maybe there's a little Bailey's in here. No, there's not. It's just tea. Jim made me my tea this morning.
Just tea, just
Look at
tea.
this humongous mug. It's massive. We got this from Silver Dollar City.
That's awesome.
I know, right? Very well made.
That's
How have
awesome.
you been? Cheers to you.
I'm good. Cheers to you. It's just been a while. And I know I just reached out to you saying, let's get together. It's like I miss you when we both get busy in our worlds. And
Yep. I know.
we need some real connection, real friend connection.
Yes, and not like this. We need to be in person and give hugs. And yes, we will get that. But Dot and I have always talked about this. It's important that you put it on the calendar. So she and I will hang on as soon as the show's over. We will get our calendars and we'll make it happen. To all of you, you need to do that because life is too short.
That's right.
Today we've got a lot of things and it's so interesting. I love that you did this. I was talking with Jenny the other day and I said, how many people do these exact things? And Dot's going to bust through these myths. People, when they think of selling or buying a home, I don't know how many times they go to Zillow or realtor.com and they're like, oh, well, I know the value of my home. I could probably do this by myself. I don't need a realtor. How many times do you hear that, Dot?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I hear it that often. I mean, I know that it's being said, but the people who are contacting me because they know that they need a realtor. And the reality is anyone can do a for sale by homeowner and sell their house, but there's a lot of legalities to go into it.
Yep.
And it can get scary. So, I mean, part of having a real estate agent is to make sure that you have all of that covered and they're there to guide you every step of the way. And as we discussed last month, the number one thing that people do is they'll call me and they'll say, I'm ready. I want to buy this house, but they haven't set themselves in place yet. They haven't gotten pre-approved. They don't know how long they can do that. How much money do they need for a down payment? How much do they need for their earnest money? And how much do they need to, save up for their, just there's so much that you have to do as far as inspections and appraisals, et cetera. There's a lot, and then we do a lot of the what ifs. What if the house was 450, and what if you can go up to 500, but what if they accept your offer at 500 but it appraises at 450? Now you need to come to the table with an additional $50,000, and those are all the things that we're gonna, that we need to have those conversations before we even start looking at houses.
We're going to go through all of those. If you're just tuning in, we're just getting started. It's our Friendship Friday and our real estate talk. If you've never seen Dot, she is a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. You can reach out to her. So we'll say this a few times so you have all the information. If it's your time or someone that you know and you're like, oh my gosh, I love when Monica and Dot are on, you should use Dot. Yes, you should. Go to her website, Fleshman.com. Her email address is .Fleshman@cbrealty.com. And her phone number is 314-324-3317. Also keep an eye to the moderation because Jenny does a great job dropping those in for you. Okay, well, let's go through. Let's bust through some of these myths. I hear this all the time. I remember when I bought my house, over 20 years ago, that I was told you need 20% down to buy a home. Bust this one through for us, Dot.
That's correct. So 20%, if you have 20% down, that's fantastic. So you're going to avoid PMI on your monthly mortgage. However, do you have to have 20% down? No. I have some people who say, well, I'm saving to get my 20%. Well, you don't have to. And it depends on where you want where you want to live. I mean, there are VA loans for our veterans that are 0% down. You can get an FHA with 3% down. You can get a USDA loan if you live out in the country for 0% down. But you can also get a conventional loan for as little as 3.5% down. And so part of that is you don't have to save up. If you've got the funds, great. But there's a time to buy. And if you find the right house, we say this all the time, marry the house, date the rate. Get in and, get your house. But all those things have to go with it that we talked about, making sure that your credit score is right, et cetera.
So at least the one part that I was told, which is if you put 20% down, that you don't have to do the PMI. So that's still the case.
That's still the case. Okay. However, if you add in what that PMI is, depending on how much you're putting down, it could be a very small amount for that month. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's important to talk to your lender and make sure that they give you all the feedback and all the advice. And talking about the lender, if you're not connecting with the lender, you don't know what grants are available to you, because there are grants out there available to a lot of people. And it depends on a lot of things. It depends on your credit score. It depends on how much money you make. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot that's out there. My suggestion is always start with your lender, and let's do that for the first month or so that we know. And there are times where they will tell you need about 5 to 6 months. So that's okay. We wait out that 5 to 6 months. We work on whatever it is your lender is telling you to work on, and then we'll get you into a house.
I love you talking about the grants because it's kind of like a student, right? You've got kids that are in college or they're going to college and they have no idea what's out there for them. And then they're spending all this money and you're like, oh my gosh, I could have had this, or even businesses and corporations. There's all these different grants. But that's why you need someone like Dot where they can say, well, hey, wait, I might be able to save you some money here. And that's what it's about with our economy and the way everybody's freaking out about the stock market and how it's affecting so much, right? So again, if you're just tuning in, going through some real estate news, we'll get some myth busters for you on the hot seat. And then we'll talk about Easter in just a little bit as well. Okay, how about this one? New homes don't need inspections.
Yeah, that's another big one. So a lot of times what'll happen is, I would never, tell someone, let's not do an inspection. My suggestion is we always do an inspection. Now, are there times where we don't do an inspection? I mean, if you're in a multiple offer situation and the house is somewhat fairly new and you want to really win the offer, there might be things that you can do where you say, I'm going to do an inspection for my purposes only, but I'm not going to ask you to fix anything or do any repairs. So there are things that we can do to kind of win the offer. And however, new homes and old homes, let's just talk radon for a second. So radon does not discriminate, okay? It doesn't care if it's got a new home or an old home. It doesn't care if you're in the city or if you're in the county. Radon is something that is invisible. It's a gas that comes from the ground, and it's one of those things that where I highly recommend you just check. If you do have a high, portion of radon, they can mitigate it, and that's something that we want to know. It's the same thing with termites. We really don't see them, but I mean, if they're under there and it's just a little bit can turn into a lot of bits. So you want to do a termite inspection. So I always suggest, even if you want to avoid saying, we're not going to ask for anything, please, seller, please, accept our offer. We're not going to ask you. We're not going to be difficult during the inspection period. You still want to have an inspection done for your purposes only. So you have the knowledge of, okay, these are the things that are, wrong with this property. And I know it up front.
I can't believe during the pandemic, and we look back 5 years ago, even 2, 3 years ago, when people were just wiping that away. Oh, I won't do the inspection. I won't do this. And it's because everybody was chomping away and trying to get homes, and they were going 25, 50, 75, even $100,000 over the asking price. It was blowing my mind what people were doing. And when they were saying, well, this person's over here bidding and they're saying that they don't need the inspection, I was like, how stupid is that?
Monica, I've got a perfect example. I have a gentleman who, let's see, 21 or 22, he bought the house. So wait a minute, 23, 24, 25. So I think it was 21 because it was 4 years ago. And he basically, it was $850 that they were asking. He offered $950 cash straight up. So they didn't do an appraisal or inspection or anything, but he offered $950. So he wanted the house that bad. He got the house. He won the house. He's in the house. Now he's trying to move. So 4 years later, we're looking at what are the comps.
Yeah.
Well, if the house really would have appraised for $850 back then,
Yeah.
and we're looking at 4 years later, he's probably in the $925, $950 range, but he wants to make money off of his house, but he's already over that hump because
Sure.
if you pay more, it's okay as long as you stay long-term in your house.
Exactly.
But when you're not in it long-term and you're in it for that short period of time, you may not be able to make that back.
Again, this is why you need the intelligence of this woman. She's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Nope. Hang on a second. Are you going to be in there for 10 years? Okay, well then maybe. But that, again, people think about doing these things on their own and then they come back and they have regrets. We want to keep you from those regrets. We are speaking again with Dot Fleshman. She is with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. Again, dotfleshman.com. Check it out, or 314-324-3317. Going through some Mythbusters. And if you just checked in with us, we talked about how you don't need 20% down to buy a home. We also talked about new homes where people think they don't need inspections. You definitely should do the inspections. Okay, the other one that I look at all the time is, yes, it's fun to say, how much is my home worth? Is Zillow accurate, first of all? And then from looking at Zillow, is it tried and true? People say, I don't need an agent. I'm just looking at Zillow.
So online estimates are based on algorithm, and part of that is, drone style that come in and take a look at your property. They get an idea of whether the other properties sell, et cetera, but they don't truly know the value of your home. They don't know the inside of your home. Is it in terrific condition? Did you just revamp your primary bathroom and your kitchen and maybe finish your lower level? They don't know that. And that adds to the value, but they also don't know the opposite of that, which is true. There are people who, they've not done any updates, and, you don't have to always do updates, but that's some of the things. If you want to sell your home, you want to have certain updates in your home, but they don't know that value. The most important thing is we will pull comps within the area within the last period of time, get an idea of what those comps look like, compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges, and really pull up and see, how does this look and how does this compare? And when you look at what an appraiser does, is an appraiser is going to say, in this zip code area, this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms, and this, comparable condition. There's different values of condition. Is it in bad condition? Is it in okay condition? Is it totally updated? So we take all those numbers and we put them together and we look at the value of what we can sell your property for.
I want to know So Dot, I want to know how accurate though, because the other day, because I knew we were going to talk about this, I went ahead and went on Zillow, and it makes you happy. Well, hopefully it makes me happy because I look at what we paid for our house back in 2016. And here I am going, holy cow, Jim, look, if we get a hold of Dot right now, we could maybe make this much on our home. But I then went to realtor.com and it was $100,000 difference.
That's correct. That's because that's what I'm saying. It's the algorithm that picks all that up. And each one of those you're going to look at is going to be different. Those are just they're guesstimates. They call it a zestimate. When you look on there, it says zestimate, but really
Yeah.
it's a guesstimate. And it's not a true value. Now, can it be close? It can be close, but again, we're going to look at tax records. We're going to look at so many things to look at the true value of your home and say, you know what, Monica, maybe these 3 homes in this zip code with this many bathrooms, et cetera, in the last 6 months sold for $600,000. Well, then can we potentially, Monica, Jim, get $600,000 for our home? We can, based on how many square footage they had versus yours. Did they have a fixed up basement? Did you?
Right.
We put all that together. If they've got a fixed up basement, that's what I've got clients who say, but look at this value. I said, they have a walkout and it's completely renovated and fixed up and yours isn't.
Yeah.
So, so then the appraiser will take that much dollar amount off. So that's how we kind of average it out to see what the value of your house is. But it's not just a guess. It's not a guesstimate or a zestimate that they call it.
How many times do people get their feelings hurt because they want you? They're like, no, this is what it says. This is what I want to list it for.
Well, everyone loves their home. That's why they're in their home. They love their home. And so they do prize it as their castle and their home. And they know all the good pluses about their home. And they're like, oh my gosh, I mean, who wouldn't want to live here? It's beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. And yes, that is true. But, here's the thing, that saying is facts don't care about your feelings. We just play with the facts.
Yep.
Here's the facts. You've got your feelings about the house. I got my feelings about the house, but we're going to stay focused on the facts and really what the value of your property is.
Let's look at a comment for you for just a second. Then we have one more Mythbuster. Rose, of course, who is a huge fan of Dot, said,
Hello, Rose. Good morning.
I keep telling my husband, let's sell our house so we can hang out with Dot. He just won't go for it. Not that he wouldn't like her. He just doesn't want to sell our house. But when it's time, I know that you, in fact, will be using her. I popped over to Instagram as well. Lance is saying, in today's world, home roofs can be big obstacles in the selling and buying of a home. It can be the hard stop on a sale. What's your comment on that?
That's a big thing. What was that? His name was Roy?
Lance.
Lance, you are spot on. That is absolutely true. So right now, the insurance companies have really, weaned in and basically said that if you have a roof that's like 15 years or older, and you're selling your home, and let's say the buyers want to come in and buy the house, you might have insurance because you already have the insurance, you already have the home. But the new buyers may not be able to get insurance, or their insurance will be so expensive because of that. Now, if there's any damage to the roof, it would make sense for you as the homeowner to get the roof replaced before you sell the house. Because again, insurance does not insurance does not follow you, it follows the house. And so you get it repaired and then you move, but at least the new owners have a new roof. And so it works that way. But the insurance has really also changed in a way that they also are making some people pay more for things. Like, for instance, even in condos nowadays, now some insurance companies are saying, we will cover you only a certain percentage of it, and you will have to cover the rest.
Mm-hmm. Here's my question. Before you're getting ready to sell a home, what would you recommend that people do to upgrade so that they're actually making it back? Because a roof is one of the things we're talking about. Some people think, should I update my kitchen? It's been a handful of years. Should I update my bathroom? Should I do all the landscaping? Should I change the front door? These are things that I've heard add value, but does it get to a point where you're putting so much in that it's like, well, now you're not going to get that back?
That's correct. It depends on the value and depends on the location. It depends on how much of a house. So if your entire house is great and you just need to redo your bathroom, I'd say do it, upgrade it. But if you have a lot to upgrade and you've got to do your kitchen and your bathroom and your other bathroom and you got to do landscaping, if you're going to put $50,000, $60,000 into your home, we have to determine what the value of current homes in your area and the comps, what do they look like? So remember, we talked about apples to oranges.
Right.
That's what we're going to be looking at. It's like, look at this beautiful house. Now, if you updated it, would you be able to get $600,000 for your house? Would you be able to get this price? So there's a maybe. So every single home, it's a variable, and every single home we would look at and make some decisions. Now, if you've got some really matted, horrible carpeting that you've had for 16 years and it's got stains and it's terrible, I say replace your carpeting or, flooring. You want it to be where they walk in and it's not the first thing you goes, ew. Let's start with something fresh, but a whole renovation is a different conversation.
Right. Again, some incredible news. Before we take our break, we have one more myth buster, and that is you should always offer below asking price.
Oh my gosh. So that's so wonderful, Monica, that question. So what happens is, let's just talk about today. We're in a competitive market right now. So the minute a house goes coming soon, all the agents, myself and agents are all searching. So we're telling our clients, oh my gosh, look at this house. Let's get it up. Let's get it scheduled for a showing. Now you've got 10 people seeing this house, 20 people seeing this house. Out of those people, you're going to have 2, 3, 4 people who all want that house. Now we're all going to arm wrestle for this property. And in doing so, we're going to arm wrestle in our contract. That's what we're going to arm wrestle with. But you're never going to say, I'm going to offer them less. Right. This is where you say, I'm going to offer them asking price. I'm going to take some contingencies off, and I might offer them more because I want to make it enticing for them to choose us. Mm-hmm. Now, that's coming soon, first active properties. What about properties that are sitting on the market for a little bit? They've been on the market for 30 days, 60 days. A home wants to be sold, and, they do want, every home deserves to be loved by someone, et cetera. And just because someone no longer loves it because they've got to move on, they've got to, downsize, a parent's deceased, they got a divorce, they're moving out of town, whatever that reason is, that home deserves to be loved. And if it's been on the market for about 30 days to 60 days, because for whatever reason, there's, you maybe you talk to your clients about, look, it's got good bones. Mm-hmm. Maybe we make a little bit of an offer, and can we make an adjusted offer at that point? I think at that point you could probably make an adjusted offer and say, if they're asking $450, maybe we're not going to offer $450. Maybe we're going to offer $430 or something like that. But we ask for maybe some contingency on the fact that we want maybe some money back. Maybe we say to them, we'll offer you $450, but we want $20,000 back in return because I want to be able to buy down my current rate. So for the next 2 years, I could have a really sweet rate because I'm buying that down by basically buying the points, but basically it's coming from the seller. So there are so many options that we can assist them with on how to get into a home. And, sometimes it's maybe doing a little renovation. And, if you're handy and you've got people around you that are handy, I mean, if I can buy a house that needs a little renovation between my husband and my son who's in construction, we can certainly do that.
And your best friend's husband.
And your friend's husband. And for people who don't, I've got you covered. I know people to help you get into a house like that. So it just depends. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. She does look good, but she should have worn blue. Blue is her color. Go Blues. Thank you. Rose, Kristen, I saw it earlier. I'm glad you like the color. I like the fact that we did not coordinate this, but Dot and I are blending very well in our colors this morning.
It's happy April, folks.
Exactly.
It's Easter. It's Easter month. It's bring out the color. I mean, I know we've got this cold weather, but Beckett is promising next week's gonna be better.
Yes, and I actually almost wore blue today, Rose, but I was like, no, I don't want to feel blue. I want to feel, and I think that's why I'm bouncing off the wall, because I'm just waiting for warmer, pretty weather. I saw a friend of mine the other day, Dot, and they were already opening their pool. And I was like, it's a little too early. It's a little too early for me.
Yes. I spoke to a couple of people as well who are getting their pools opened.
Let me ask you that before we take the break. So pools, are they a deterrent, or is it something people are seeking out right now?
I'm so glad you asked that, Monica, because I have a client who loves this house, but it has a built-in pool. And she says, I'm out. And
really?
I said, there are other options. And she says, well, if I had to buy the house, she says, I would have to cut it off, cap it, and drain it and fill it with dirt. She would fill it with dirt and make that. Yeah, no, no pool. And so some people, it is a deterrent. Not everyone wants a pool. On the other hand, I've got a client who says, Dot, this house, find me a house with a pool. So
that's me.
That's
when
me as
you
well.
Find our house, you know this. So Dot knows that when we move, which I don't know, could be about a year or so. When we move, I need a pool. You have to remember that I said this. Do not let Jim talk you out of this. I want the pool. He wants the cottage.
Right. Well, we get a cottage with a pool.
Yes, that's it. If there's a lake nearby too, I'm very happy.
Right, exactly. I love pools. I'm a water girl.
Yes, yes. All right. So we need some time by the pool this summer, by the way. Let's make that happen. Okay, we're going to take our break. So we went through some myth busters. Now, are you all ready? Get this ready because we're going to ask you very quickly just to say this or this. We're going to put you on the hot seat, and then we're going to get into the reason for the season, which is we're talking about spring, and that means that Easter is right around the corner. So still don't go anywhere. We'll have more with Dot Fleshman and our friendship and our Real Estate Fridays.
My house is so outdated and old.
Let's take down this wall or just replace the furniture.
I love it.
New sofa, chaise lounge, and tables from Carol House because you like nice things.
My house is so outdated and old.
Let's take down this wall or just replace the furniture.
I love it.
New sofa, chaise lounge, and tables from Carol House because you like...
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
All right, coming back. We want to hear Abby say it again. Welcome back again, Dot Fleshman, our real estate extraordinaire. And if you are just tuning in fact, I want to do a little social media check-in. I like to do this from time to time because I like for when you text your friends and family members and say, hey, get online. And if you're not on Facebook, that's okay. We've got 42 of you right now on X. And that's why we've added so many different platforms. We have 3 of you on Rumble, 17 of you on Facebook, 2 of you on YouTube. And unfortunately, this particular program doesn't populate LinkedIn as well as Instagram. So we have those of you as well. So it looks like 65 live right now. So we're doing good. And then share like crazy so that we reach into the thousands and more of you know about our incredible friends that are on our show. If you are just tuning in, I would highly recommend that you go back and watch the beginning of the show because we gave you a lot of really great real estate news. And now we are going to put you on the hot seat, the home buyer hot seat that we've been talking about. So it's going to be, is it kind of like a this or that?
It's this or that.
Okay.
One or the other.
So folks, it's very simple. All you have to do is say this one or that one. And we're interested to see what our audience, who you are. We like to get to know you a little bit better. So we're going to look at this one first. Would you be this? So what would you call this one?
So that one is
the treehouse.
That is actually my treehouse estate.
Treehouse estate. And how many people are doing tree houses this day?
Well, I mean, that's really a specialty house. So it's not like something you're going to go find into your, subdivision.
But you can
However,
just say, there's a lot of people that like those. Their kids would like tree houses.
Well, so here's the way this works. So there's going to be 2 photos. There's that one, and then there's an underground bunker. So the whole premise here is, would you rather live in a home that has rope bridges but no running water? That was the photo that we just saw. Or this one, which is an underground bunker, fully equipped but with no windows and no natural light. So private, no windows, no natural light, which is the underground bunker. Or the first one, which is a tree house, which is an estate with rope bridges, but there's no running water. So, I mean, let's pipe in here. Which one do our guests think they would rather be in? Like,
okay, so just write tree house or bunker. Tree house or bunker. Okay. So wait. So I'm going to ask you, which one would you pick?
I 100% could not do bunker. I'll go get water from wherever, but I am very claustrophobic. That I wrote that and I was panicking. I can't drive without my sunroof open.
This one would freak you out, huh?
That one, yeah, that whole that quiet, enclosed privacy, no light, 100% I couldn't do it.
I think I agree with you. I would do the tree house for sure. I like to be out in nature. It would freak me out though when we have bad weather coming.
Yes. That would. So, I mean, neither one are the best,
Yeah.
but it's going to have to be one or the other. So, what are some of these people saying? Treehouse, treehouse.
Jenny says treehouse. Linda
Okay.
says
So,
bunker, tornado, safer.
Linda, I love that. Yes, the whole tornado thing. And I have there's properties out there that you can buy that are on a slab home. And a lot of people say things like, I don't want to buy a slab house because there's no basement. There's nowhere to go for a tornado. Yet the house is 80 years old. People, the house is not going anywhere in 80 years. It's probably not going to go anywhere here either as well.
I went over to Instagram. Diane says treehouse. Lance says treehouse. Jenny is saying treehouse.
Yep.
Anybody else want to weigh in? Treehouse or bunker? Anne says treehouse. Feel free, by the way. Feel free to continue to write in about the ones we just showed you. And if you watch later, feel free to do so. We have 70 of you on right now. So as quickly as you want to type in treehouse or bunker, or ask your friends, what would they say? Okay, we've got two more that we're going to show you. So would you, like this one? I like this one kind of. I don't know.
Okay, that is the ultra modern all glass house on a cliff with zero privacy.
I was going to say, I don't like the privacy aspect.
On a cliff. And this one is your haunted Victorian mansion with secret rooms and ghostly whispers. Ooh. No. You're going to live in a Victorian mansion with ghosts, or you're going to live in a glass home on a cliff with zero privacy.
Okay, let's go back here. So Audra says from the other ones that we showed you, bunker, which again, if you didn't see, this is the bunker. She says can always go up and get light, and I do love life conveniences like running water. Well, you got to tell us, would we be able to escape this, or would we always be stuck in the bunker?
Well, I mean,
what if it's locked, Audra? Now we're putting more elements in. It's locked and you cannot get out of your bunker.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just
Kristen said treehouse. Joy says bunker. I'd only be home to sleep.
Okay, so
Linda said we look for a basement.
Ooh, Rose wants a haunted Victorian. By the way, Rose, I don't have to sell your house. We can certainly go out and have some drinks and have some fun.
Wait, Linda said we look for a basement always. Rose said we're getting a storm shelter for our lake property, bunker all the way. Linda said haunted for sure. Audra says haunted house. Haunted Victorian, Rose says. Mansion. Joy says that's a mansion. She wants to live in a haunted mansion. Jenny, who would even sleep in a haunted house? Okay, see? Audra said locked. Okay, never mind. That changes things.
Right.
I'll tell you what. I mean, the mansion is beautiful, but I don't know if I like, you know what? Maybe I can turn them. I'm the eternal optimist. Maybe I could turn them into friendly ghosts.
Well, that's a maybe. That's a what if. I mean, I don't know if you're laying in bed and you're hearing creaks or squeaks. I don't know. The whole glass house thing.
Yes.
I guess it wouldn't be so bad during the day. At night, it would be a little creepy.
I'll tell you this. I've seen a lot of these on Instagram and TikTok where you go away and you're going on vacation and people are like, would you stay in this as a rental? And it's hanging off of a cliff and you're looking down and you're in your bed and you can see straight down and it freaks most people out. Right. I'm telling you right now, I would do it.
Right. Even though that's scary, I think the haunted house would be scarier for me.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Rose says, does a haunted one have a pool?
Well, I don't know.
Maybe it can't. I don't know. I have a feeling it would be empty and there would be skeletons in it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Let's look over real quick to Instagram. Okay, so Diane says glass house on a cliff. Lance said glass house. Lance said convert the tree house to a vacation rental. Treehouse. Jenny, everyone can see you in the glass house. They were both sketchy. Okay, Diane said put up drapes for the night. Can you put up drapes? I know, Verbo. It is. It's a Verbo. It can absolutely be a Verbo. Linda says a glass house, too many windows to clean.
Right.
Rose, they are laughing too much. Someone check their cups. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. And maybe it's because I finally got a lot of sleep. I went to bed at about 8. Well, I told you I saw the first 2 periods of the Blues game. And so whatever time that was is when I went to bed. I got 9 hours of sleep. That's why I'm on fire.
That's right. That's
Did you
awesome.
sleep good last night?
That's
I
awesome.
hope.
Like a rock.
Oh,
Like
see?
a rock. I felt so good. Right. And today's a little pinky because you see my little
Oh yeah. Let's show these because we're going to
my-
take a break and we're
my
going to get
little
into
bunnies
Easter.
behind me.
I love them. And the flower. You have little tulips back there and the eggs.
So I made this. I just took this glass. I put
course
some
you did.
jelly beans down here. I
Oh,
put
look at
these
the
little
peeps.
and I put these little fake flowers in here, and you made this really cool. I found this on Pinterest.
Of course you did. I need time to do these things. I just need time to relax, Dot. Otherwise, I need friends like Dot, and she'll make them for me. Yes. Okay. So that was fun. We could probably go on and on. We need to do that more. We need to drop in this or that's.
So I've got a few more for next month. So I saved some of those this or that for next month.
Okay, good. All right, everybody. Again, feel free to keep dropping in. I'll look over at the comments. So yes, as you can see behind her, everybody's starting to decorate. We're going to decorate the set, by the way, for Easter very soon because it is right around the corner after all. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the reason for the season. Yes, we'll talk about Jesus. We'll put him in it because it's not all about the Easter bunny, right? Stay tuned. More of Friendship Friday when we return.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
I don't know if you all know that, but I am a design and wardrobe consultant, and I would love to design something for you. So maybe I need to design a really cool Harley jacket. That would be fun because we're going to get ready for this, the 3rd annual Dudes Playground Poker Run. Okay, here's the deal. I don't care if you don't have a motorcycle. You've got a cool car. You just want to come and support our veterans. That's really what it's all about because we get it. That is the slogan for our Dudes Playground. Again, the veterans, understanding what the veterans have gone through. So this is free food, free entertainment. They're going to have a really cool display at 9:15 in the evening, June 21st. So what I'm asking you to do is save that date, June 21st at 12 o'clock. It's in Waterloo, Illinois, 5301 Kaskaskia Road. So it's going to be $10 per poker hand, and all vehicles are welcome. So a lot of these poker runs are for motorcycles only. We're talking about you getting those Jeep clubs out, the Mustangs, the Corvette clubs, the classic cars. Just come on out. They'll have a 50-50 as well. We are going to be there, and we're going to be broadcasting live at the kickoff right around noon. And then Jim and I, for the first time ever, we are going on a poker run. Have you ever been on a poker run? Have you ever been on a motorcycle? Have you ever been on a motorcycle?
Nope.
No. Would you go on a motorcycle, or do they scare you?
Oh, did you ask me if I've ever been on one?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Okay.
I have. Yes.
So if you, I think this is going to be such a blast, and we are talking about wanting to make it epic, like one of the biggest ever. So we have a mutual friend in Kent Powers who used to run Burbus Valley Harley Davidson. I reached out to Kent, and he's reaching out to a bunch of hog chapters for us. My dear friend Bo Matthews, who was an incredible DJ on WIL, and now he has his radio show on KMOX. He's going to put Richard on to talk about this a couple weeks before the event. Richard's coming on with us in May, and I just want people to go out there. I don't care if you don't go on the actual run, just come out and be with us. It's going to be a good time, and we are guaranteeing, Beckett, you better guarantee some good weather that day for sure. But we've never been on one. You know, Jim has his Harley, but we've never been on one, so it should be a good time for sure. All right, as you are just tuning in, possibly, you've missed a lot, so you got to go back and watch the show as we talked about some real estate news. We did some Mythbusters for you, and now we are going to get into, I can't believe it's almost here, but the reason for the season, Easter, just around the corner. And I love the fact that in this picture, it's the two things together, right? Many kids think of the Easter Bunny only, but then we have to teach them what this season is all about. And you know, if you're not faith-based, it's okay. There's no shame in that. But at some point, you might be intrigued by the higher power that we all hopefully look to for some guidance. So let's talk about that, right? The Easter Bunny That's the fun side. That's the Easter egg hunts. And we talked yesterday about Yuppie Puppy doing a Easter egg hunt for the dogs, for puppies and for dogs. And we love all that aspect of it. We don't want to ever take that away. And obviously that's why Dot's got the bunnies in the background.
That's correct. So, I mean, it's just like anything, the reason for the season, when we talk about Christmas, and what that's for and how Santa Claus got involved with that. But really, it was Jesus' birth. And then we're talking about Easter, which is really the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And, the whole, it represents like the victory over sin and, allowing us to, have death over salvation. There's a whole bunch that goes along with it. But then I started researching, well, how did the bunny get involved in that? How did that, what's the same thing at Christmas? Well, how did this, he was born, but like, how did St. Nicholas come in? So there's always a connection, but the whole representation of the bunny is, spring and fresh and new birth and renewal. And that's where that came in. And so all of a sudden people started corresponding that with, Jesus Christ. And then of course, Hallmark came out with, their cards, and then there's the candy. So it's all kind of in there. Now, do we have fun with it? Of course we have fun with it. Everyone loves to go, run around and find eggs for the little kids, and they have their baskets, and it's a get together. It's always about the food, getting together with family, with friends, having the food. And, but when we sit down and talk about the real true reason of the season, it really is about Jesus Christ and our salvation and the fact that he rose from the dead. And that's part of that. So, but there's a huge connection between him and the bunny.
I love it. And you know what? Celebrate both of them. And I love the fact that it's not just kids. We're all big kids. So you cannot tell us as adults. I mean, go ahead, type in. Tell me, do you not enjoy doing the Easter egg hunt, or even as an adult child? If your parents, if you're blessed to have your older parents still alive, if they give you a little basket, does it not bring you back to a little kid? I'm telling you right now, you just brought back the memories of me and my brothers going around the house in our pajamas, trying to find our Easter baskets that mom would hide, and they were in that colorful cellophane wrap.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Right. Yes, of course I do. Of course I do. And here's what's interesting. So, Greek Orthodox, they have so this Easter coming up, our Easter is on the same day as the American Easter.
Oh,
and
really?
It's on the same day, but generally, so next year it might be a week later. The year after it might be 2 weeks later. The year after it might be 3 weeks later. So I believe last year we were like 3.5 or 4 weeks later than you guys. So it was really weird celebrating Easter, whatever, but we kind of follow the Jewish moon or something like that, the way that we corresponded. But this year it's at the same time. So I'm really grateful to be able to celebrate with everyone. I mean, growing up, there would be times where, you'd have your Easter, and 3 weeks later we're out there and we're Easter basket, putting stuff in our Easter basket. I'm sure our neighbors like, those Malayases, man, like they're way off. Had no idea, right? There's no they're like, why are they doing that so late? Like, well, it was like 3 weeks ago. But we do have fun. But I do want to share one thing, Monica. Have you seen the movie from Angel Studios called The King of Kings? Or have you seen that?
My sister-in-law is taking my great niece, my great nephew, and my mom next weekend.
Yes. So I think it comes out April 11th, and it's called The King of Kings. And it's an animation basically of Jesus and the whole Easter, everything about him growing up, et cetera. And it's a father talking to his son and sharing stories with his son. But I can't wait to go. I can't wait to get tickets to go.
Well, I might want to go. I think they're going on the 12th. So yeah, I believe it opens on Friday the 11th, and then they're going on the 12th. And my sister-in-law Tina, that she was saying, I think your mom would really enjoy going with her great niece and great nephew, her great grandchildren. Okay, cool. I didn't know what that was all about. She just wrote The King of Kings. I'm like, well, it's got to be related to Jesus, hopefully. How very cool. If you all haven't heard of that. Anne, you're so funny. Anne said, I need to hire Monica to style me and hire Dot to decorate my new home when Dot and I find my new home. So yes, they are. Anne has been working with Dot over the last couple of weeks. How's this? She's looking for a condo or a townhouse?
Yes, a condo. Yeah.
How's that going?
So far, so good. There's a lot that has to get involved in that. At some point we search, but at some point we need to kind of get our house ready to sell. Yep. So we're in that mode of getting her house ready to sell. So once she's ready, We're going to shoot some photography, get her house on the market, and then we'll start searching on a home for her.
I'm so excited. Rose, you are correct. He has risen. I love Easter, Monica. I have invited everyone I know to my church. We're having an egg hunt and petting zoo. Oh, cool. It's awesome. You're no bunny till some bunny loves you. And he died for us because he loved us. Yes. Ron, good morning to you. Stephanie, we used to celebrate 2 Easters also, Dot. My grandma was Romanian Greek Orthodox.
Yes,
Dot,
yes.
do you chick eggs? What's that?
Yes. So I wish I had. So we have, so everything with the Greek Easter. So we don't color eggs any color but red.
Oh,
That's the only color. We don't have pastels and all that. And red represents the blood of Christ. And so we make a whole basket of eggs. And then right after dinner, at some point of the day, everyone grabs an egg. And it's kind of like where you take, let me see if I can explain, that you take an egg and it's like you try and, smash the egg and see whoever ends up with the egg that doesn't get cracked or broken gets like, good luck for the year or something. It's just a fun thing that we do. But literally, I remember growing up and it was like, how come we don't have pastel eggs? Everyone's got pastel colors and ours are always red. But that's why. Because again, it's something fun that goes with the Easter and the Easter bunny, but it's really the representation of the blood of Christ. But I do have this little stone that says he is risen.
I love that.
When someone says he is risen, then someone else responds with truly he is risen.
Truly
and
he
what
is.
we say is Christos anesti.
Yes.
And then someone responds with alithos anesti.
I remember that from my big fat Greek wedding.
That's right.
Let's see, Linda, I always decorate eggs, even though it's just Jim and I at home. Then I send a picture of them in a basket to my son and daughter-in-law to include them. I love that. It was interesting up until just a couple of days ago, people were talking about how they didn't think they were going to dye the eggs because the egg prices were so ridiculously expensive. Fortunately, those prices have started to come down. I think I found there's like $3 a dozen now. Or if you're lucky like us, you've got a neighbor who has chickens and roosters and they put them in your mailbox.
Right. Oh my gosh, how wonderful, Monica.
Oh, I know. We've got the best neighbors.
That's so nice.
Stephanie said yes. That tradition for us also. Dot is Greek, Rose. Yes, she is. She is Greek. Her real name is Theothota.
That's right. Theothota.
Yes.
Theothota.
Oh, see, things that you didn't know.
Theothota, and no one could say it. In an American, it's Dorothy. And the Wizard of Oz kind of messed that up for me. So, I've been going by Dot since I was 16 years old.
Dot, or as my husband calls her, Dotimus.
Dotimus.
All right, everybody, let's give you this information again. If you have just tuned in, you've got to go back and watch this one and then do a favor for us, which I'm going to put on the screen right now. Do what we always ask you to do, and that is to share and like and follow our live stream. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Rumble, and X. When you go to YouTube, and I really would like for you, even if you watch on Facebook, do me a favor, let's get those numbers up on YouTube because there's a lot of really cool things that we are starting to think about doing in subscriber information. So if you subscribe to Facebook or YouTube, you're going to get some extra Real Monica Adams inspiration and motivation to carry you through your day. So if you are in the market or very soon, if not, hang on to this when it is your time. And let's have Dot as your real estate agent. Again, she's with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. Fleshman at cbrealty.com and the website .fleshman.com and the phone number is 314-324-3317. And what sale? Oh, when the deal is done, hold on, Rose. When the deal is done after the sale, do you give them some baklava? That's an incentive.
Actually, Rose, I do give some baklava to my clients.
Of course you do. Of course you do. And probably some incredible cookies, because have you seen the cookies she makes? We need to show those again. And the pies. Oh, I remember you made a really beautiful Easter pie. Did you not?
Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have showed those this time.
They're okay. Gorgeous. Well, if you want to order them, they still do them. She and her sister. Okay, which one would you like for me to read from? Jesus Listens or Jesus Calling?
Let's do Jesus Listens.
I knew it. I felt it. I was putting it out there to you and you picked up my vibe, which, by the way, let me talk about this as we go to a break. We all loved him and there's going to be a huge celebration for him. If you haven't heard, your vibe attracts your tribe. He said it all the time and he was a dear, dear friend for the last 30 years. Brian McKenna, we lost him tragically in a car accident. And a lot of you have been asking, is something really special going to be done for him? You bet it is. In fact, a lot of us behind the scenes are thinking we need to get shirts made, coffee mugs, koozies, you name it, all the money from those going to the charities that Brian loved so much. Somebody wrote me last night and said that a stretch of street should be named and renamed after Brian McKenna and McKenna Way. I love all of these things that are coming in. I want to do a regular segment where we bring a sponsor on board and we take the money from the sponsorship and we split it up between all of the charities that Brian loved so dearly. This is going to be May 31st, by the way, McKenna Day. Macklin from Devonshire to Nottingham will be a parade, food, drinks, music. If you have any questions or you want to make some donations to the charities that he loved, reach out to Brian McKenna Day at gmail.com. More importantly, please join us in the celebration of the life of one of the most incredible human beings that ever walked the face of this earth. Again, coming up on May 31st. You can bet that we will be there. All right, stay tuned. When we come back, we are going to read from Jesus Listens and wrap up with my dear friend Dot.
Well, hello, my friends. My name is John O'Leary. I was just on the Real Monica Adams show, and it was an amazing experience for me and hopefully for the viewers and listeners as well. What I found sitting down with Monica is the idea of being real is maybe something we use for social media or website or to separate us from others, but it may not be something you experience very often in the real world. Today, Monica was extraordinarily real, not only with me, but with our viewers and our listeners. And through her authenticity and through her honesty and vulnerability, I followed. It was an incredible conversation. We were real about struggle, real about life, real about endurance, real about family, real about faith, and real about the truth that the foundation is firm, that God is still God, that there's reason for hope, and that the best is yet to come. So for those of us who occasionally struggle with being real or being filled with hope or being renewed in a season of struggle, I can't tell Monica and her viewers, listeners, and producers thank you enough for allowing me to be real during the hour together. So for this time, and until next time, my name is John O'Leary. Today is your day. What a gift it is. Live inspired and stay real.
That man is incredible. And those are the kind of guests that we're talking about. Guests or topics that you would like. Doing our final social media check-in. Look how many people watch on X, but they're so quiet. All of you that are watching on X right now, 56 of you. And then it looks like a lot of people on YouTube, they have to get off to work. 5 of you left on YouTube, or excuse me, on Facebook, 2 on YouTube, 3 on Rumble. And then over on Instagram, we've got a couple of you left. And then I don't see LinkedIn on those live numbers. But it's the reason we are on so different platforms, obviously, because so many of you watch in different areas and a lot of you don't get a chance to watch live. So for all of you that are watching this later, give me a little hashtag replay and ask any questions and feel free to drop in any comments that I can pass along to Dot. Feel free to do the little hot seat for us later as well, because we'd like to know, for those of you that didn't get a chance to watch live, whether you liked the haunted house or the bunker or the glass house or the one on the cliff, etc. So we chose, Dot wanted to hear from Jesus Listens. This is Friday, April 4th. Magnificent Jesus, you are the light of the world. Because I am your follower, I will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Although there is much darkness in this world, I always have access to you, so I'm never in utter darkness. The trail before me often looks shadowy, especially as it disappears into the future. I'd love for it to be floodlit so I could anticipate what's ahead. But the truth is, you are enough. You are with me continually, and you also go before me, illuminating the path for me. All I need to do is trust you, follow the light that you provide, and even when the path before me is dimly lit, your illumination is sufficient for me to find my way forward step by step. Someday I will be with you in heaven, where I will see your light in all its glory. Darkness will be a thing of the past, and I'll be able to see everything clearly. The Bible assures me there will be no more night. I will not need the light of a lamp or of the sun, for you will give me light beyond anything that I can imagine. In your brilliant name, amen. And I hope that gives you a little positivity and a little extra oomph, right? Dot, great show, my friend. Great show.
Great show. That's a wrap, folks.
Look at, she's doing the TV lingo.
That's a wrap, folks. And what we want to say is you can go out there and be anything you want to be today, but if you want to be anything, before you do that, be kind.
See, she wants to wrap it up. But before we do that, I also want to say that she's coming on next month, Friday, May 2nd. She'll be on with us. That's Mother's Day and Memorial Day discussions that we'll have. And she mentioned earlier, she's going to put you on the hot seat again. So we'll continue that. I have a feeling you all like that. So we're going to continue that little game for sure. Any plans this weekend, my friend?
I'm showing property.
Of
I'm
course.
showing property. So I'm going to be busy. Yeah, I'll be busy doing that, which is wonderful. I love it.
Yep. See, and again, when you do
with
what
my
you
umbrella.
Love, with your umbrella, yes, you'll need that. But then you'll be able to wring yourself out on Monday and Tuesday.
Right.
When you do what you love, it doesn't feel like work.
That's
and you
right.
smile like Dot and I are smiling this morning.
That's
so
right.
Yes, Dot just said it. So I'm going to let you say it again. I'm going to give you the final words, my friend. Say it again as we wrap up the show.
Go out there today and be anything you want. But before you do that, be kind.